In this particular group about getting traffic to your site, we're going to start to focus on an element that's essential for your business or it's going to die. You really need to focus on delivering good quality content to your readers and the people coming to your site. If you can be unique and have a voice and you can include a lot of good quality content and you can keep it consistent, it's one of the sources of traffic that's going to just keep on building and building and building. Now, I've recommended in other videos that you don't put all your eggs into one basket by just following one source of traffic process. But one thing I will say to you is if you can create a central site, for example, a WordPress blog, you install it on your domain, and then you can continually add quality content to that site, over time you're going to see it produce you a fantastic level of traffic. If you're then using other resources that we've shown you or showing you throughout this series of videos, and you've perhaps watched some of the other videos already, you'll see we've shown you different types of ways of getting traffic. You can then use those tools to link traffic back to your central site or your blog. This in turn is then going to improve the quality score and ranking, and finally it's going to get you on those front pages of search engine results, which is ultimately going to be a huge resource of traffic for you. So Get Writing is something that's extremely important for you in your business. Get used to it, start enjoying it, and actually make it part of your daily routine. And whether it's focusing on improving the quality of your site with the content, whether you're doing article marketing and submitting to directories, perhaps blogging on your blog, a blog, or even guest blogging on other people's sites, and perhaps participating as well in things like blog carnivals, all of which we're going to cover in this group and series we're looking at now of Getting Writing. One of the things you want to consider when you're setting up your site is something called on-site SEO, which is search engine optimization. I'm not going to take you through this as a course because if I did, we'd be sitting here for a few hours now going through it step by step. There's a lot of information out there readily available, and I've included some great links for you in your resources report that shows you the sites you perhaps want to check out and start reading and taking notes from. One of the ones you want to perhaps look at is this site here, the Search Engine Journal. It's got 12 basic on-site SEO tactics for optimized results, which just walks you through the real basics like using meta tags, title tags, anchor tags, the headed headlines that you use, the body text that you use and how you use it. Things like that are very important. Going to Google, they've got a whole piece on search engine optimization. They've got their Webmaster Central that's got some fantastic tools and details, and they've got their Webmaster tools as well. I've given you a link in a report that's included in this course that will take you to these sites so you can go and research them for yourself. The next part then is actually article marketing. If you're writing on your blog, you want to keep adding content on a regular basis. Some people say that you want to do between 10 and 20 posts a week, and that might be true when you very first start and establish a blog, but you can gradually back off and make it less over time. But as long as you keep some fresh content going, it's giving you more opportunity to be bookmarked and get that important traffic source coming back to your website. Then you can take other articles and you can actually submit them to article directories. And there's a number of those. There's Article Cube, which is a site that is becoming more popular in the Google searches results. Article Dashboard is another one that you can find lots of article content in here. ezinearticles.com has been the favorite choice of marketers for some time now and has recently seemed to have taken a bit of a hit from Google, although over time, as long as you're producing quality content on this site and you're not putting spammy stuff on here, you're going to see that it's going to build you links and get you quality traffic again in time. So don't just discard a forum or an article site just because it has a little bit of time out of favor with someone like Google. Simplearticles.net is another one, very simple service here of articles, but it comes up quite often nowadays in the Google results. Articles Alley is another one, and it's all about you just getting the content out there. You can use different article services, you could even get certain article submission services if you like, but if you're doing it by hand and over time, combined with the other traffic methods we've talked about, you'll find that this over time builds the quality of score that ultimately then gets you higher ranks and is another way for people to find you. If they're typing into a search engine and they come across your article in someone else's directory, or as a guest blogger, you've appeared on a blog and you've written an article. The whole idea of guest blogging is that you can then put in a small bio about yourself. That's going to help you build traffic. And that's the thing here. You want to look at guest blogging as well, because it can be a great way to get traffic. Be wary, there are some sites that have become spammy over time, but there's some great opportunities and you'll see them. Just look around in the niches that you're trying to get traffic in. Keep an eye out for when they're looking for guest bloggers, or you can even just, if you find a blog that you really like yourself and you know it's common in your marketplace and you've got some good stuff to say, contact them, send an email to them, tell them about the posts that you liked and enjoyed and you've become an avid reader, you've got a similar blog going yourself or another blog going, and you'd love to be able to do some guest blog posts on their site if they'd welcome it. And they may well come back to you and say, no, at this time we're not looking, but in future when they realize they can't keeping up with the technology or whatever it is, the field they're in, and they want more input perhaps, you might find an email pops in your inbox asking you to become a guest blogger, and that is a way of then getting you more traffic to your site. So don't rule that out. Another option with writing is to take part in forums. If most forums will allow you to create what's called a signature file or a SIG file, and it's just a place where you place some kind of information and have a link that goes back to a post or a site or whatever of yours, that in turn is going to get you traffic. Especially if you participate in forums on a regular basis so people are seeing your name. If you're giving them good quality, don't just post tat all the time, because people will just switch off to you and they'll see your name and they'll never even read the posts that you make. But if people like what you're posting, there's a good chance they're going to have a look at your SIG file as well when they're sitting there reading. That in turn can be traffic that's coming to your site. So don't rule out forum signature files. They're quite often overlooked and they can be a good way to get traffic to your site quickly if you're participating well in any given niche, as long as of course you can put a SIG file on the forum that you're in. So check that the forums that you go and sign up at, if that's the case, allow you to have a signature file to begin with. Another thing that I want to just quickly cover for you about the Get Writing section is something called blog carnivals. Now there is actually a site called blogcarnival.com, but you'll also hear about it through other people as well. And what a blog carnival is essentially is just a place or a community, and there'll be sort of many kind of blogs, and they contain articles on all different types of topics. And what blog carnivals typically do is collect it all together and then have links pointing out to the articles on a given topic. So if you join a blog carnival as a contributor, for example, you'll have an editor whose job will be to go through and collate all the information, get all the right links, go through the articles, and then they'll actually put that together. They'll host a blog carnival on their site where they'll be linking out to all the relevant and related content and pointing to all those articles. Now, it's sometimes, in some cases, blog carnivals have been a way for people to get a huge following very quickly in a certain niche by participating, especially as a contributor, on many different blog carnivals that are going on. And if you go to a site like blogcarnival.com, they actually do a list of the types of blog carnivals that are coming and starting up and will be coming around in the weeks and months ahead. And the wonderful thing about sites like this is they're actually free. You don't pay for this service. You're just part of the community and you get to actually include your content. So another way of driving good quality traffic back to your sites is using something like Blog Carnival and getting involved in them in your particular niche market.